Hi, Craig.
Oh, hi, Rex.
How you doing?
Okay.
Well, that's good.
Come in the back.
Uh, well, first let me take this jacket off.
Okay.
Say, why don't you tell me about some of your new art?
Well, I did recently acquire this piece.
He points to a small panel on the lower part of the wall below a lot of bigger stuff.
Interesting. I like the way the dark lines contrast with these bright patches up there. Is it an abstraction?
It's from Ghana, probably 19th century, a tribal fetish.
I see. Admirable piece. Good selection. Goes so well with all your other stuff.
Most of it is African of some kind, but I do have some Southeast Island stuff too.
Wow. I love this mask on the wall.
Yes, that's a very nice piece from the Congo. It's cost me a lot, but it was worth it. I could probably sell it for thousands.
So impressive. So, Craig, I always wondered, are you black?
My mother is white, but my father is white, but my mother is French Creole.
Oh, I see. Creole. That's
Mhm.
New Orleans, isn't it?
It can also mean Caribbean. Well, do come in.
Oh, they squeeze into a back bedroom where Craig takes a seat on an overstuffed bed in a yoga position. Craig is wearing drawstring white pants that look like pajamas and a sweater, a small pendant on his neck. There are several chairs. Rec takes the most comfortable looking one right next to the bed with a lampstand table in between, which has an ashtray of Chinese brass and two pieces of quartz carved into pyramids, one pink, the other white, and one slightly bigger than the other, psychedelic posters on the wall.
Well, I'm sorry to say, but I don't really have a lot of time and I should be going fairly soon.
Oh, but you just got here. Certainly you have time for a puff.
Well, yes, I guess I do have time for a quick one.
Great. Well, let me just go and get the pipe.
Craig leaves the room, goes into a kitchen, and is rattling around loudly with things in the sink for quite some time. Rex sits nervously, twitching from side to side because of the banging, puzzling over what Craig may be doing. He yells from the other room,
What have you been doing with yourself?
Oh, the bar scene. Been to any good clubs lately?
Oh, why, yes, they have a new club on Fidget Street called Domino's. It's a swanky cocktail club with cute booths, tables, and candlelight. It's great for late night dancing. Doesn't even really get going until 2. What a fun place to hang out till then. You ought to check it out.
Well, it doesn't really sound like my kind of place, a little too upscale and swanky. Sounds expensive. You know me, I like to go where the men are.
Oh, those dark dives that get dirty in the back.
They're not all just sex clubs. Some of them are really fun, like Dillinger's. They get jiggy with it there.
I suppose, but you know that one place I saw you in? My, weren't you a mess that night? I had to clean the pipe. Maybe it's time for a drink. What could I get you?
No drink for me right now. It's sort of
It's
early.
4 o'clock. That's almost evening, girl.
Really? Well, I guess it is. Maybe a small one.
Well, what do you have? I have Drambuie and this liqueur that's almost like absinthe. Not exactly the same thing. No actual wormwood. It's illegal, but it has that peppermint bitter taste to it. Want some?
How about a screwdriver for me?
No orange juice. I have grapefruit. You could have a salty dog.
Just vodka and grapefruit would be fine.
Craig sets the pipe down and exits the room, again rattling a lot more dishes than before. He speaks.
This won't take any time at all. Just have to wash a glass. There isn't a thing clean after last night.
Oh, last night. What did you do then?
Rudy and Max came by and some others stopped in. We were all quite jolly up until quite late, very quite late in the evening. Then the guys went to the baths.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Rudy's a party animal, and Max, well, you just don't know what she's going to do next.
Tis true, tis true. Sometimes I don't know what I'm going to do with her. I'd like to slap her in the face is what I'd like to do, but you know me, all calm and composure.
Guess you've seen it all somehow.
You can say that again with a cherry on top.
Oh, is that a? The glasses are still.
Here you go. Here you go. Vodka
Yep.
and grapefruit.
What are you having?
I have a small amount of brandy left over from last night. I think I'll finish that. That wouldn't be enough for both of us. Hope you don't mind.
Mind? Why no? No, why not? I mean, you should enjoy it. I love this drink. What did you put? Any grapefruit in there at all?
You don't want too much grapefruit. When the ice melts, it'll be fine. You'll see.
Well, I guess it's okay. I was just a little surprised.
This is some smoke from Afghanistan.
Afghanistan, huh? I don't think I've ever had some from there before. I just usually smoke the regular stuff or whatever you have around.
This is so much better.
He lights it, passes it to Rex, who takes too big of a hit and bursts into a coughing episode with smoke coming out of his nose.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I didn't know it would come out that strong.
Good pipe, huh? I got this at the Bazaar Bazarnival on Swell Street.
Oh, right. Yeah, I've seen that shop. It's like a big place, ain't it? I mean, I passed by it once.
Oh, yes. It's sort of like a supermarket head shop with literally all the stuff. It's just fun to go in there and walk around. It's so big. They have every kind of paper that anyone ever made, and many of them in Europe and France. I get my cigarettes there at a good price.
Oh, yeah. You smoke that French cigarette without a filter. Those come all the way from France, don't they?
Oh, yes, indeed. They are imported, and you can only get them in a couple of places. That's why I like them that's why I like to get them where I can. They are so much cheaper.
What do you call them? Go something?
Go wah. Would you like one?
A go wow. Well, yes, I guess I would like to try one. You know me, I'm a Camel guy. Smoke them all the time. It's the best tobacco that America makes, and part Turkish too.
Yes, they are a good cigarette, but try one of these.
He lights a cigarette and draws, exhales.
Ooh. Wow. It's very aromatic. It's almost like a pipe tobacco, ain't it?
It's a very special blend of tobacco.
A doorbell rings and Craig gets up to go to the door.
Someone is here. Excuse me.
Oh, sure.
Craig goes to the door and says,
Who is it?
To the intercom. We hear a cracky voice.
It's Ron.
Oh, come in. Come on
He
in.
buzzes the door and waits. Rex is getting more restless. He's still anxious to leave, and maybe more so now that some stranger is arriving, and he anticipates complications.
Maybe I should be going. You have company.
Nonsense. It's just Ron. You know Ron.
I know several Rons.
Well, he's the one from your hometown. Just moved here.
Ron Ample?
Yes, that's him. Relax.
Oh, well, yeah, I know Ron. All right, gee, it's been a long time. What a surprise. I mean, how'd you know he was in town?
Ed told me he was over there.
How does Ron know Ed?
Well, you know Ed. He knows everybody.
That's right. You guys were both best friends when I first met you before you moved here.
Yes, we lived together for a while.
That was a wild place in those days with all the craziest, most wonderful people, artists, poets, dancers, actors, and playboys. Woo.
Both of us had friends coming over all the time. It got to be too much after a while. I had no time to myself. There was always someone over.
That would be a bit much after a while.
Yes, party all the time.
Ron knocks on the door. Craig lets him in.
Hi, Ron. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. And you?
Okay, too. Come on in the back. I think there is someone you know back there.
This is the first time I've been to your new place. It's a couple of blocks from the train, isn't it?
Yes, that's the Worthing Park stop on Shekel.
Right.
You're new to town?
I lived here as a kid. My mom is still here. I come here all the time.
Clearly you know your way around. Guess who's here?
Ron, how nice to see you. Been a long time, buddy.
Same here. This is a surprise.
Well, Ron, let me get you something while you two catch up some.
Perhaps a beer if you have one.
Think I do, as a matter of fact.
Craig goes into the kitchen while Ron takes the other seat next to Rex. Craig clanks loudly, moving things in the back of the refrigerator for a long while. So they both visit each other.
Have you been in Chicago long?
Since I was 19, so getting close to 20 years.
And you knew Ed most of that time?
Ed and I have been fantastic friends for years. Had a couple rocky moments, but we always hung tight in the end. Still do.
I used to live in his place when I was in town from time to time. Surprised we never ran into each other before.
As long as I've known Ed, I gave up trying to keep track of all his friends in any way. There was always regulars I got to know, but others coming sometimes from out of state, people visiting Chi-Town, just knew him and came by.
It was way in the back. I thought for a moment that the guys cleared me out completely, but there were a couple way back in there.
Did you have some company last night?
You don't know Rudy and Max, do you?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do. I've known them for a few years.
Well, ain't that something? Here you guys know each other and you know Max and Rudy. Why, it's like some great big happy family of queers, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it is.
You could say that.
Let's all have another smoke. How about it?
Well, Craig, I do have to be going. So nice to see you, Ron. Hate to rush, but you know how it is.
Oh, yeah, sure do.
Yeah, but you can have one more smoke now that Ron is here, right?
Well, yes, sure. I can make time for a short smoke.
Craig fills a pipe and starts it around.
What's the bar scene like these days?
If you're asking me, some of the best cruising is at Murphy's Place. They got a good variety of people, a relaxed atmosphere, and most guys are charged up to go, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, that's the kind of action I'm looking for.
You guys are just animals. Whatever happened to l'amour and dating? You know you have to eat sometime. You can't live on fucking.
I can.
I get a chili dog at Jumbo Jimmy's after 4 when the place closes if I haven't scored yet.
That's why you're a rail. You lost your butt. It just melted off of you, all flat now.
Come on, it ain't that bad. Well, some guys go for it. I admit it's not the vast majority.
Oh, I seen you standing there with those puppy dog eyes in the dark, wanting for Mr. Wait, right?
So it still hasn't happened. That don't mean it ain't going to.
I always thought you had a pretty great ass, especially back in those days.
See, I still got it. I just don't flaunt it. I have other qualities too, you know.
Let me count the ways. I love you to the depth, and what is the rest of all that crap?
The heights and the
Ron's an English professor, you know. Ron, recite him some Burns like you used to do for me.
Oh, the mousy, yes. But mousy, thou know thy lane, improving foresight may be vain. The best laid schemes of my son then gang after glay, and leest naught but grief and pain for promised joy. Still thou art blessed compared with me. The present only toucheth thee, but I backward cast my eye on prospects and fear, and forward though I cannot see, I guess and fear.
Ron, that was so impressive.
You know, Ron, I don't think anyone can recite that as well as you do.
Early English was my specialty.
It just seems so strange to me because you show movies and the most recent and experimental stuff. You still do that, don't you?
Yes, I was at the university. Some friends of mine have a small theater here, and I'm going to be responsible for a portion of their programming. They also show straight porn, you know.
Really? No, I didn't know that. Give me the address.
I'll take you over sometime to watch a film.
That would be great.
You know, Ed used to do box office there.
That's right. I was at that theater a couple times because Ray ran the projector. That's funny because I used to run the projector for you when we were friends at the university.
You worked those halls for me and ran that projector pretty good. I never had to worry about going out for a smoke break when you were there.
Thanks. I enjoyed it too. We showed Little Big Manhattan, Little Big Man next to Jordan Belson short abstractions, and the kids loved it. They were screaming and laughing, like having a great time. Well, most everyone in those days like took a hit of acid before they hit the theater. Remember Yellow Submarine in the Stargate corridor in 2001?
You got messed up for that.
Mhm.
We saw 2001 3 times in a row. We liked that sequence so much. They let you stay in the theater as long as you want in those days.
Yeah, that's why I used to go downtown, and the theaters were all a dive and dingy in those days from the 30s, but they showed them big-titted Craig Russell films in those days, and guys would go there and jack off, and some of them were sailors hanging at the USO down the street with nothing good to do.
Sounds very Gene generic.
A little Joe Orton, too.
I'll bet that Joe Horton was a hot hunk. Men came drooling at the sight of him. Not handsome, just brutishly sexy, that's all, and so much a man.
He was always on the scene, kept them British loose in check.
Yeah, then came home to fight with his arrogant bastard boyfriend who wanted to hog all the credit. It was always Joe's work.
He got most of his ideas with them just bullshitting around like a couple. Kevin said something that was really funny. Orton made note. He remembered and he wrote it down. Kevin didn't.
Well, you know what they say, those creative ideas are just out there waiting for the right guy to jump on them.
Creativity is the common denominator. So, the theater's what's brought you back here, Ron.
No, not really. Chambana's such a small town. You get to know everybody after a while and just see the same faces.
I thought you guys counted on the yearly university turnover.
Well, yeah, that is something. But you know, it's a little shaky, and the young guys tend to like young guys, which is starting to leave me out. And after all, there's only so much per capita. Am I right?
You can say that's right, all right. So, Rex, what can I get you?
I'll take a quarter.
Okay, and is that all right for you, Ron?
I'd like to get a half. And do you have any of that special stuff you had last time?
No, I'm afraid that was a one-shot deal. Pretty good though, right?
Mm.
I'll be getting something kind of special soon. I'll let you know.
He begins weighing and putting the stuff in bags.
So, what was the name of that place you were talking about?
Oh, Murphy's. There's also Little Joe's.
And that's Cruzy too.
Oh yeah, you can pick guys up, but I gotta tell you, there's a lot of uppity stuff with the guys sticking up their noses at everyone they meet. They talk to you a little while, like they're checking you out for all the details. Then they turn around and tell you, well, now I'm going to look for someone I really like. And they go on their way around the bar a time or two. You can count their laps. They're like arcade horse going round and round till it gets real late. Then attitudes relax.
They relax all right. They're like desperate women, all feeling that they've waited too long for love. Spinsters of the night that either end up in bookstores or go home to have a good cry and do it all again in the morning.
Been there, done that. Don't want to do it no more.
Oh, honey, believe me, you will.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Damn it.
Now, Ron, wouldn't you rather go to the disco and dance?
Nope. Never been much of a dancer.
Ron's a lover, so to speak.
Oh, girl, you'll like Little Joe's all right. Everything happens at 2. Not too late for you?
Oh, he's a night owl, all right? What, the theater don't get out till midnight, does it, Ron? Most guys might just head to the baths that late. Do you remember Sam's and Bananas? We used to lay around those places all night. They had these gigantic pillows all over the floor. It was the only thing you could sit on. And if you was bored, you could go into the showroom and see some show of some Caterwauland drag queen with a bad sense of taste and tenure. They're a hoot. I saw this porn star one night laying there for all the world to see. He had the biggest one, and everyone made extra trips just to pass by. He just laid there with it hanging out like he did that all the time.
I guess he does. Long enough to get your picture took and put it in a book. Well, wonder how much the porn guy makes.
Well, he didn't look exactly like the type of guy who works too hard. Besides, it looked like he was hard all the time.
Well, that is work, if you ask me. Perpetual hard on? At least mine comes and goes.
Yeah, but then it comes back.
Oh, don't you just love it when you get them to describe the man of their dreams?
Yeah, it's like they got it all figured out. He's going to be a man who's well built, got to have the big chest and biflex.
Bond with the bear mustache everyone wears, right?
Not me.
That's why you're different. You're very, very different.
Oh, I'm not. All right, well, maybe a little.
No, you're definitely different.
Come on, guys.
Just razzing you. You can't take a joke.
Usually, but maybe not sometimes.
Oh, different and sensitive.
That's it. All right, I can go someplace where people like me.
Yeah, I like where.
Most of the guys like me, all right, at Little Joe's. The bartenders all talk to me.
That's because you buy them so many drinks.
There's one guy there, and every time he sees me, he calls me Daddy Rex.
Why is that?
I've never really been sure. He just does. He calls me it all the time. Nice guy, too. Yeah, I like him. Good
Mhm.
looking guy, well built. I know he's got a monster dick because everybody says so, but we don't have that much in common. I mean, what would I do with a monster dick?
Yeah, right. I know just what you do.
Not really. I'm more the moderate type.
Yeah, all he does is talk about big dicks. He's the moderate type, all right.
I talk about big dick. That doesn't mean I don't like them. Ron does, though. You can handle a big piece of dick, can't you, Ron?
I like to think of myself as versatile.
Oh, he's versatile, all right. Vice versatile. He goes back and forth. That's enough of that. I got to get you guys set and get you out of here. You know, I have a life to live, you know.
I'll bet you do. What a case. Gotten any counseling lately?
Me, I check out fine. Sanest one in the batch.
Okay, we'll believe you this time.
Here you guys go. Now get out of here. I've got to shower and get dressed, have a dinner date at least. May not exactly be true love, but we'll see what we shall see. Got my fingers crossed.
Maybe you should have your legs crossed.
Oh, you too. See you later. Come back soon and see you.
See you, Craig, and thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Craig.
Glad you're happy, Ron.
The two of them get out the door. So, Craig, you can exit, and it closes.
Wow, I've been trying to get out of there for an hour. He really talks up a storm, don't he?
Yeah. Well, that's why they say when you come to Craig's, you have to pay an extra tax for your smoke. You pay money for the smoke, but it costs extra for the time.
That's ass.
Yeah. He keeps you so long because he doesn't want his neighbors to know what's going on with all the traffic and activity. That's why he talks so much, to keep you there, plying you with drugs and alcohol. He does it all the time. It's amazing what he can come up with. The guy is pretty sharp and manipulative. People say it's like an extra charge. That's why I call it the Craig tax.
The Craig tax. Huh? I think you got something there, Ron. You seem to hit the nail on the head.
Yep. The Craig tax.